understand what we do, they'll have a higher probability of being able to share this with other people. So what I'm going to do is we're actually going to watch it together. And I know you've seen it before, but I think it's so important that you have the ability to watch this. And I think it'll be able to be okay on the sound. You tell me if the sound's on it. If not, then we will do it a different way.
Groups and teams. Mission number 3 is the foundation will provide eyeglasses, meals, or gallons of clean water for someone in need. So what's the catch? Well, there's no catch. We are a nonprofit educational charity that is supported by best-selling authors, educators, and entrepreneurs. Let's connect the dots and go backwards. This is my family. I'm one of 10 children, and yes, that's me down in the corner by my mother. Now, one day I was helping my dad paint the house next door, and it was hot, and I wasn't having any fun. I asked my dad, "Dad, can I get paid for doing this work?" And he says, "No, son, get back to work." A little while longer, I got up the gumption to ask him, "Dad, are you sure I can't get paid for doing this?" And he goes, "You know, son, we bought this little investment house so that it would have extra income so that we could put your kids through college." And he could see that I didn't really care. You know, son, some people make so much money from their real estate, their small businesses and investments, that they don't have a job. All they do is manage those things. As a teenager, I was making 12% on my investments. My dad taught me how to buy stocks. My dad was 4 days older than Warren Buffett, and I had a mini Warren Buffett that taught me about finances and success. In 1984, my parents started an investment account for their then 12 grandchildren. When my mom and dad passed away, they had 70 grand and great-grandchildren. Each had an investment account. In 1984, I married the girl of my dreams, and we started a family. Then in 1993, something happened that changed my life forever. I had a heart attack. And as they were wheeling me into the operating room, I wondered if I was coming back. And if I didn't come back, who was going to take care of my special needs children? Now, I was lucky. 1/3 of the people that have a heart attack die. Now, this is a picture of me celebrating my first birthday after the heart attack. And you can see we have these beautiful special needs children. And Ryan's program was around $40,000, and we had to move to Los Angeles. I was talking to a mentor of mine, Robert Allen, about what I should do. Now, he's the author of Nothing Down, Creating Wealth, Multiple Streams of Income, and many other books. And he said, "You know, Tom, go out and make enough money so that you can put your son in whatever program you want and never regret spending the money." So we started fixing up houses. And you can see we just found ugly little houses that needed some tender loving care. We found houses that nobody wanted to clean up, but we did. We painted those houses, did a little bit of cleanup, cleaned up the yards, and we turned an ugly house to a pretty house. We found ugly, ugly bathrooms and turned them into beautiful bathrooms. We found kitchens that needed a lot of tender loving care and turned them into beautiful kitchens. And we made a lot of money doing that. And we did it over and over again. In our lifetime, we have invested in millions and millions of dollars of real estate. We started small businesses that became big businesses that have done hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. We invested our money and made more money from our investments. Today, our special needs children are taken care of. Now, in your lifetime, you are going to learn, earn, and return. LaDonna and I wanted to give back. So we created a foundation that would teach kids, teens, young adults, and adults about success and money. Well, because you didn't take those classes in school. We donated $3 million into the foundation, and we are giving away our Warren Buffett stock to help you get started and to help you and your family have a better life. I'd like to teach you the system that we use. It has to be simple enough to fit on one piece of paper. So pause the recording and go get out an extra piece of paper. Now, there are 5 steps to financial freedom and the wealth formula. Step number 1 is you need to learn how to make more money. You do that by studying successful people. You need to learn how to solve problems and how to add value. Then we're going to separate your money into 3 groups. Step number 3 is you give some away to church and charity and individuals that need some help. Number 4 is you automatically invest like Warren Buffett. And number 5 is you save and spend. Now, most of us need a side hustle and a small business because we need to make more money. We need multiple streams of income on small businesses and to learn how to make money using the internet. The wealth formula is very simple. We need to have monthly investments times having them go up in value times time. That equals generational wealth. The SuccessMoneyFoundation.org is a nonprofit educational charity that has over 400 free Success and Money classes taught by best-selling authors, educators, and entrepreneurs. The Protege program was a program that used multiple streams of income, the road to wealth, the 1-Minute Millionaire, and cracking the millionaire code. This is a product that was created by Robert Allen and Mark Victor Hansen. Now, it was very, very expensive to market this program, and it was very, very expensive to fulfill it. But because of the high tech and the use of the internet, we can make a huge difference. And because this is a nonprofit educational foundation and a legacy project, you don't have to pay $5,000 to get started. You don't have to pay $1,000. You don't have to spend $500. You don't need to spend $100. It's free. Now, why is it free? Because we're a foundation. We're a charity. This is a legacy project by best-selling authors and educators to make a difference in the world. Now, along with the Protege program, we needed to learn about success secrets from others. We want to study Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, Tony Robbins, Dave Ramsey, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Robert Kiyosaki, Robert Allen, Oprah, Walt Disney, and many, many more. In addition, we added personal development. These are all bonus items and bonus classes. The Blue Vase, the 4 maps of successful people. Think and Grow Rich, 7 habits of highly successful people. And these are wonderful introductory programs that then we can point you in the right direction to learn more from these wonderful authors. And the magic of thinking big. The Millionaire Psychology, these are all part of the personal development, as well as the inner success and wealth. You need to learn about personal finance, the 5 steps to financial freedom, the 60-day money miracle, finance lessons, investments lessons, and of course, we need money courses. Courses such as how the economic machine works, wealth with low risk, escape program, crypto and blockchain, and learn about how banks and money and central banks work. You need to learn how to make more money with real estate. All of you have to have a place to live. We might as well figure out how to make money with real estate. So we have the Road to Wealth book, the real estate launch, and how to wake up the financial genius inside of you. You need to learn how to make money with your investments. And who's the best? Warren Buffett. And we study Warren Buffett and how he invests. Robert Miles has written many books and courses on Warren Buffett. You need to learn how to make money with your small business. One of the greatest books is called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber that teaches you about small business and how to market your small business with Jay Abraham and how to make money with sales. Many of you need to learn how to make money with direct selling or multi-level marketing. You need to learn how to make money online. We're going to teach you about how to build your first website and how to use programs like WordPress to get your business up and running. Then there's Money Made Easy for kids, teens, young adults, and adults. Every one of your kids, nieces, nephews, everyone you see is going to make, manage, and spend millions of dollars in their lifetime. That's the good news. The bad news is they're going to die broken in debt. Doesn't have to be that way. We can fix that. And so we've got wonderful classes there. Plus, we have Warren Buffett's Secret Millionaire Club that is a wonderful program to teach any age about money. So how do you earn Warren Buffett stock? Well, you attend live online classes, complete online courses, and give away free memberships to others. You simply do that by sharing your personal URL or QR code with friends and family. And when they attend live classes or complete online courses, you can earn additional Warren Buffett stock. Now, how do the people you enroll earn Warren Buffett stock? Well, they do the same thing. They attend live online classes, complete online courses, and they give away free memberships to others. So make a difference, make it happen, and remember that every life is precious. This is Tom Painter for the SuccessandMoneyFoundation.org.
Now, once you've completed that, then what it'll do is it'll ask you to it'll come up here and it'll complete and it'll give you credit for being there. There's also just a real quick little quiz that you can take. And the quiz basically says, did you watch the video? And you'll simply click on there and tell them yes, that you did complete that. Now, after you've done that, then that will take you to the third step, which is basically how you can get your referral link. And so there's two places you can get the referral link that you can use to share with others. Number 3 right here under your name, after you log in, you come here to where it says your share and win referral link. This is one that you have that will take them to this particular offer. And so this is the one where if they watch the video and they get the free book, and you'll simply come over here and click on the clipboard, or you can copy your piece right here and just simply copy that and then send that out to friends and family. And then when they do that, that will take them to the win page that offers the free book as well as the Warren Buffett stock. Now, if you want to send them to the different one, like the one where that you can get a little bit of cash and the stock, then you'd simply, when you come into here, you would simply add the PH to the end of it, because we have to do this in countrywide because of exchanges and logistically how to get it out to you. So you can always come here to that PH number right there, and then they can get a little bit of cash and they can get the stock instead if that's the one thing that they would like. And again, once you've logged in, you're already logged in right here. You can simply go there and you can click right here and get your referral link. There it is right there. Or if you want to give away the book, you just do the same thing without the PH on it. So it's just win. And of course, that will take you down where you can do all 3 of those steps and get that as well. So that's the Share the Wealth program that we have, that we want to be able to help you get up and going and to be able to share with others. And again, as you do that, you can earn extra income for your investment account as you share the wealth with others. And again, there's all kinds of ways that you can do that. You can simply share the link by going over to your name and then pull it down. You can just share the link that takes them to the home page and they can sign up from there. Or if you want them to be able to watch and to get the free book, then you'll just use the /win, and then they can get the free book and watch the video as well. Now, the interesting thing about this is that we know, and this is really interesting, is that as we study our students come in, and if we can get them to watch the first video and earn their first points, then they'll watch a lot more of them. People either come in and go nuts and watch a lot of videos and go through lots of classes, or they don't do anything. Now, it's wonderful that they get a free membership, but the most important thing is that they start going to class. Because when you go to class, you can earn points. As you share the wealth, you can earn more stock. And our goal is to help you to get that investment account up and running, and so that you can get going. That's key. And then once you do that, of course, you'll start your small businesses. You're going to do your real estate. You're going to do all those things. So that's why we do what we do. So simply share the wealth, help other people. And again, after you've logged in, just simply go to SuccessandMoneyFoundation.org. And then if you put in the /win, we're giving away the new book. And you're welcome to get that book yourself by simply going to the .org/1001-book, and you can download that book for yourself if you'd like to be able to get a copy of that book as well for yourself, or just share that as well. Your job is to share the wealth. Your job is to share the wealth with others and help other people. So this has been Tom Painter. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you all being with us. We're going to say goodbye to our friends from around the world, and we're going to be right back for another segment. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Painter again, and I am so excited to have my good friend, Mr. Kurt Mortensen. He's in the house teaching us about your small businesses and how to recognize and seize opportunities. That's our next chapter. And this is a wonderful material and a book that was written by Steve Gibson and his wife, Betty. And as you know, they're the founders of the Academy for Creative Enterprise. And they have students all over the world in chapters. And we're big believers. We love what Steve does and what his organization does. And our goal as a foundation is to be able to deliver materials to you on a digital basis. And then our goal is to be able to send you to other organizations where you can get a little bit more face-to-face, toe-to-toe, things like that. So Kurt, if you're on and you're ready to go, looks like you're there, go ahead and take it away. And we're going to go into our next chapter. Thanks for being here, Kurt.
All right, welcome back. We're getting to Creating Family Prosperity Where There Are No Jobs. This is number 4. Remember, you have the manual, the PDF that we're working through. This is lesson 4. How can I recognize and seize a good opportunity? That's what we're going through. So follow along. This is on page 19 is where we're starting, lesson 4. These are things that we're going to consider. So big picture, I want to talk about some of these and give you some tools to help you out as you build your side hustle, as you look at your business and you make things, expand and grow. So we're going to talk about, what is a business, different type of businesses, different ideas that you can generate. And as I go through this, make sure that you're taking good notes. Good ideas are like slippery fishes. It was Earl Nightingale said it, because if you don't get it, it's going to disappear. Then we're going to talk about your neighbors, problems they're going to solve, opportunities, do some brainstorming with you and talk about different ideas that you have. So we're going to talk about the 4 types of businesses, the different ideas, are they good or bad, opportunities to solve problems for potential customers. Remember, the more pressing the problem, the bigger the problem, as Tom says, the better it is for you to increase your income. You need that side hustle. You don't have to get it done overnight, a little bit at a time. That's what we're working for as we go through the different pieces of this. So as you look at this, these new words here, we're on page 19, we all define a little bit differently. So what is a business? Any formalized effort that increases the amount of money through exchange of goods and services between 2 or more people. There's retail, a business that buys from a wholesaler or manufacturer and sells them directly to the customer. There's the service business that provides time, skills, expertise. A lot of you will be doing that in exchange for money. Wholesale, a business that purchases goods in bulk from a manufacturer and sells small quantities to retailers. There's the manufacturer. This one's a little tough. You can get to that point if you're good at creating and making something, produces a tangible product that is sold to wholesalers. There's the problem. That's the situation that's difficult to deal with or control that people are having an issue with. Your idea, you know what that is. Opportunity is a favorable combination of circumstances. A situation that would allow a person to make profit by taking advantage of it. So you see the different definition. Here's what we're going to be going through, doing some brainstorming, thinking about your ideas. I just want to say, I love that you're generating ideas, but sometimes you get so close to it that it might not be the best idea. You want to bounce it off different people that'll give you honest feedback. We love our moms, but sometimes you tell your mom, it's great, it's perfect. Then we want honest, good feedback. Sometimes moms will do that, but we want to be able to get that feedback from the different people as we talk about these ideas. So this is brainstorming. No right or wrong ideas, just write down ideas as we go through this. What is that next side hustle? What is that business you want to create? That's what we'll be working with here as we go through this. So at the bottom of page 19, you have to understand one of the biggest challenges for people striving to get out of poverty by starting an income generating activity is deciding on what to do. They spend too much time on what to sell. And that's the easiest start with anybody. When you look at this, the best thing you can do is learn how to sell. What can you sell? That's the easiest, quickest, fastest way. Find something that you can sell. So many of you just look at your neighbors and do the same thing. That doesn't always work. Maybe your neighbor had a bad idea. Maybe the market's saturated. Maybe they're already doing it right. So let's start by learning the 4 basic types of businesses and kind of pick and choose. We'll talk pros and cons. And that's what you want to do, is look around. What can you do better? I don't want you to fight on price to be the cheapest. Anybody can do that. I want you to build quality value, do it better, something people are going to pay for. It's okay if other people are doing it. That's actually a good thing. I know when I started launching into the book business and I saw titles or books similar to mine, and it was kind of hurt my feelings, but no, that's a good thing. If I was launching a book that was unique and the only one of its kind and nobody else was writing about it, that means nobody wants it. Okay? So big picture here, what can you do better? I don't want you to fight on price. I want you to do it better. I want you to solve those big problems and challenges that people have. So let's go to page 20 here. It continues to talk about businesses come in many shapes and sizes. They sell a million varieties of products and provide thousands of different services, but generally they fall into 4 categories. So here are the 4. Right? The first one is retail. So retail businesses sell products to people who actually use or consume the product. Most businesses fall into this category because they can be started with little amount of money, capital, or time. So retail, you're reselling products. You know, what services can you send? The next one is service business. Offer a service to a customer, a babysitter who cares for your children, you mowing lawns, you're mending fences. What can you do? The next one is wholesale business. You sell products to retailers and then they sell them to the end user. A little tougher to get into. And then the 4th one is manufacturing. Manufacturing businesses create products and sell them to wholesalers, retailers, and end users. That's what they do. That one's a little tougher to get into, but you can do a little look at these and figure out what you want to do. Again, we're just brainstorming here. What is you? What is your heart telling you to do? Remember, Tom said it a million times, the bigger the problem, the bigger the payout, the better the business. And so take a look at your homework here. There's 10 answers there. So keeping the 4 types of businesses in mind that we just talked about, start exploring ideas for you, right? The IGA stands for income generating activity. List every idea you come up with, products or services you can offer. And I don't think 10's enough. I would do 100. And it'll make your brain go, ouch. But if you come up with 100 ideas, I mean, the first 10's easy. If you keep going, you'll be amazed to get those creative juices flowing. Come up with 100, ask other people, just write them down. Your list can't be too long. We can go and shrink it later and pick that best one, but don't limit yourself to 10 here. Then the next question is, review your list. Which products or services solve a pressing problem for people who live in your area? So go through the list, go through your ideas. What's really solving a problem? Can you do it differently? Can you do it better? Can you change it up? So there's 2 or 3 there for product or service, and then problems that it solves. Problems that it solves. What problems does it solve? All right? Then toward the bottom of page 20 there is, why does your product or service solve a problem for your customer? Because a customer will buy a product or service only if it meets one of his or her needs or solves one of their problems. That's the key. And the bigger the need for the item, the more likely the consumer will make that purchase. So what can you do differently? What problem can you solve? The ability to solve a problem is a major factor separating ideas from opportunities worth pursuing. So you're looking at your list. Hopefully you got 100. And then just kind of label out of scale from 1 to 10. How big is the problem it's solving? And then go through your 9s and 10s, and start shrinking your list. Which one are you passionate about? Start shrinking your list. What can you do better? Start shrinking your list. And to get to, 2 or 3 ideas that you can start bouncing off other people. Get feedback is really a need for that. So Stephen Gibson, the creator of this course, had a very successful business selling the most in-demand product in the world, oxygen, right? When you need it, you need it. That's a problem. That's like in a desert, selling water, that's pretty easy. Selling it on a rainy day, that's probably tough. But when you need oxygen, you need oxygen. That's one of the most important needs. And so what type of needs can you create? What are you doing well? And do people need a coach? Coaching business can be something. What do you do well? What can you coach people on? You can do this. In fact, my 14-year-old daughter needed money. What did she do? She created Princess Camp. Of all the silly, strange things, she went to the neighbors. It was a 3-day boot camp on how to be a princess. Okay? And they dressed up, they watched movies, the parents paid, and she actually did really well for doing Princess Camp. Can you be a soccer coach? Can you coach people one-on-one, do soccer camp, math camp, art camp, painting camp? What can you do one-on-one? Can you do it to a group? What do you do well? What are you smart at? What can you do? Those are different things you can do as a side hustle. Those are the important pieces of this puzzle. So it is a puzzle. We're being detectives. We're working through this to help us understand how to do this. So let's go to page 21. There's a list there. List what you think changes an idea into an opportunity worth pursuing. Right? Just kind of brainstorm that. What is that? Do they really need it? What are you looking for? Not just the features. What is the benefit? What problem are you going to solving? People need a drill. Okay, well, no, they need a hole. Why do they need a drill? They need a hole. They need to go to the gym. Well, they don't go to the gym because of the best equipment. They need to go for the coach. They go to feel better, to be slimmer, to lose weight, to be healthier. What is the core reason, the core thing that you are solving? That is going to be your goal. So lift those out. That's part of your homework. And here's some possible factors, some things to think about here, just to brainstorm with us. It solves a common but pressing problem. The more urgent the problem, the better. The solution to the problem is available at a price that a potential customer is willing and able to pay. Those are two different things. They might love it, but if they can't pay it, it doesn't matter. For example, the price is not so high that a person would have to get approval from their spouse maybe for doing it. There is the third bullet there. There is not already a dominant company solving the problem in your market area. That's not always a bad thing, but if they monopolize it and there's no way to get in, that's going to be a hard thing for you. The next bullet there, the decision by your consumers or your customers to purchase the product or service is an easy one. Well, duh. Because if you think about it, for example, if I was selling a $100 bill for $1, that's a pretty easy decision. If I was selling a $20 bill for $1, people don't have to think about it. So if you can build the value to where, duh, I'll do that all day long. That's what they're talking about. That how can you do that? And so the final bullet, there's enough profit to be made by you, the seller, and it's worth selling the product or offering the service. It's worth it to you. So that's the key. What can you offer there? That is something to take a look at. So when you look at it, the assignment here is keep in mind the characteristics of good business opportunities. Review your lists, narrow it down by problem, by passion, by talking to other people. I encourage you to do let's say a survey or a poll. Strangers on the street, ask them, what do you think about this? Would you pay for this? Would you do this? Send out to your social media, to your email list. Hey, take a quick survey. What do you think's best? Or would you pay for this? Would you do this? Get honest opinions. You're too close to it, so I really would encourage that as you go through that. So continue with your assignment. Choose one opportunity that you would like to research more. So choose the one. I'll let you do one or two, but you got to start narrowing this down. So what is that income generating activity? So at this point, we just want you to choose one that you're researching. Maybe two or three if you want, but at least one that you're going to research, talk to people about, benchmark, we call other people doing it in your area, and see if it could become an income generating activity. Kind of go through back the lessons and that, ask the questions. That's the key thing on page 21. So continuing on with what you're going to do, we're going to the top of page 22, is that you may be feeling a little frustrated here, a little overwhelmed. That's okay. A little bit at a time. I know you want to make money yesterday, but as you look at this, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. But I want you to take action, but I don't want you to be analysis paralysis. I've always loved what Robert Allen has taught everyone is the concept is ready, fire, aim. You're like, well, Kurt, that's backwards. No. Get ready as much as you can, but good entrepreneurs that have a side hustle, they'll get ready, and then they'll fire. Oh, that didn't hit the target. Then they'll aim, then they'll fire. Otherwise, you'll spend all your life getting your ducks in a row, get everything right, get everything perfect, analyze it to death, and not take action. So we want to do a little research. but we want to start taking action as soon as possible. So continue on up there. Napoleon Hill, author of Think and Grow Rich, you have access to that on the SuccessAndMoneyFoundation.org website, the audio and the PDF. You should be reading that. But he says, one must realize, this is Napoleon Hill, one must realize that all who have accumulated great fortunes first did a certain amount of dreaming, hoping, wishing, desiring, and planning before they acquired money. So it's okay to do that, to work through that, but you have to pull the trigger. Ready, fire, aim. That final piece there, without planning and analyzing, would-be business owners waste a lot of time, money, energy, enthusiasm chasing after idea, but never establishing a successful income-generating activity. The key being successful right from the beginning is to research, plan, and test. Get out there and do it. Test a solid opportunity. Continuing on there, it says, you must see there's never a shortage of ideas. They're out there. Test them. See what other people are doing. Use it to do the survey. Do the polls that you need to as you work through that. So there's some great examples there that you can definitely work through. So another thing to think at, just to kind of trigger ideas. In the middle of that page, here's some small income generating activities others have done, right? That's the key. Successful things other people have done. So selling cold drinks, homemade soups and stews, selling hot drinks, sandwiches, bottled water. You can sell soft drinks, pancakes, flip-flops. I mean, what are you good at? So that's the sales side. That might be part of it. Maybe you're more on the coaching side, more on the information side. Well, these are perhaps the new and exciting. They can get you started. You can move up. You can build upon them. They might trigger different ideas. I mean, are you selling products? Are you selling information? Are you good at something? What can you do to help people out? Can you coach people's children? There's so many opportunities. Look around. How are people creating that income with these different opportunities? Continuing on page 22, many people want to start a more sophisticated, get into cafes or cell phones. That's great, but is that where you want to start? Maybe. Or you can do some quick, simple, fast things. And again, all these lessons are going to help you create that in your life. It's critical for your life, for your posterity. It'll make a huge difference. So some field work here, bottom of 22. Go to a marketplace and see what other people are doing. What are they doing well? What are they doing different? And there's 3 lists you want to do when you go to the marketplace. The first one is the bottom of 22. List ideas that have long-term potential, not just a fad, something that's happened today, long-term potential. You'll recognize these products as just ideas. The fact that many people will be selling exactly the same item, that's okay. You can do it better, do it in a different way, provide more service. That's the first question. Then if you get to page 23, second thing, list income generating activities that seem to be opportunities than just ideas. Write down why you think these businesses might be closer to opportunities rather than just ideas. Again, we're thinking long-term potential, not just a fad or just available in a season. We want this to last year round. Number 3, list opportunities that might be right for you based on considerations such as how much money you would need to begin this investment. Can you do nothing down? Can you go to people, negotiate? Hey, loan me 10, I'll pay you at the end of the month. We can be creative here. What can you do to solve the problem for the customer? Are the big ones there. So be creative. That's, think it through. We're brainstorming here, some different things. I'd encourage you to read the story there in the middle of 23 about Jonath and what they did in their income producing activity, the income generating activity. And your final assignment here is, as you look at the top of page 24, is based on what you've learned, doing your research, your ideas, talking to other people, decide which one you want. What is the one? What's the one you want to start? What have you identified? Your research, you've done your polls, you've looked it through, you've benchmarked other people. What are other people doing? Go through your list. I'll give you 7 days if you need it, but then choose one. Don't spend 2 months. That's a waste of time. Figure it out. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can get started. You can fine tune it. You can change it. We say you can pivot. That's the word that we use to be able to do that. In the bottom line, at the end of page 24, most business ideas are not worth pursuing. I know you don't want to hear that, but again, are you passionate about it? You love doing it? Are you good at it? Are other people doing it? Are things to think about? To finish off the bottom line, the best opportunities involve selling a simple solution for a pressing problem and offering it at a fair price that people are willing and able to pay for. I mean, that is key. So there you have it. That's the important piece there that we are working on as we go through that. But I also want you to start thinking through, go through this process, is to be more creative. Now, we want to be creative here, and it's not something you're born with. The creative part of your brain can be nurtured, it can be learned. When I was looking at charismatic leaders, there's something about being creative and nurturing that. You can be more creative. And as Albert Einstein said, imagination's more important than knowledge. So you can be creative here as you go through this. But the blind spot is, oh, I'm not creative, I'm not. No, you can be more creative. You can learn to be more creative. You can exercise that. That's why the exercise of coming up with 100 stretches your brain. I'm not saying it's easy, it stretches your brain, helps you be more creative. So we're not born creative. We're not creative because our brains are different. If we dyed our hair pink, creativity is not the result of some magical thing. You can learn how to do it. So at least as long as you're above average in your intelligence, so if you're listening to this, reading this, you can be more creative. Highly creative people have a specialized knowledge, is competent, and they're able to draw on ideas from different disciplines and ideas, and so you can learn to be more creative. So think about your potential. Think bigger, what you want to accomplish. So as more you visualize, the more creative you can be. When you think about your challenges before you go to sleep, your subconscious brain will come up with ideas. Focus on solutions. Don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. Surround yourself with creative people, and don't resist your ideas. Write them down. Don't say that's dumb. No, write it down, work it through. When you're brainstorming, the worst thing you can do is judge your ideas. Write them down, write them down. So here's 6 things you can do to be more creative. Find at least 5 solutions for each challenge. I'd say 10, 20. We talked about 100 today. Brainstorm in a group to find solutions. You'll be amazed at the ideas that other people have. Never downplay those suggestions that we talked about, whether they're from other people or yourself. Trust your subconscious mind to give you the answers. Again, think about your challenges before you go to sleep. So your brain will come up with solutions while you sleep. It's amazing. Like, have you ever lost your keys? And you thought about it before you went to sleep in the morning, bing, oh, I remember they are. That's your subconscious mind. When you look at stories or telling stories or metaphors or analogies, that helps you become more creative. And realize time's not your friend. Meaning, don't do the analysis paralysis. Just get it done, create a deadline, be creative. That's a big part of it. I mean, if you look at people like Henry Ford, very creative, changed the auto industry when he decided to do a manufacturing plant that had a line of people doing the same things. That changed the game. He just thought about it. He's creative. It was different. People thought he was crazy, but you can surround yourself with creative people. So brainstorm 100 of those ideas. I know it's a lot. Maybe I'll go with 50, but I mean, it just stretches you. That increases your creativity. The other thing I want to talk about here as we get into this is trusting your gut, trusting that intuition. You want to do your surveys and polls and talk to other people. But when you interview successful people, they've learned to follow that instinct, that intuition, that inner voice, that still small voice, whatever you want to call it. It'll talk to you. People don't always talk about it, but there's an intuition here. So as you go through this and you've done your research, use your intuition. As Bill Gates, right, founder of Microsoft, said, often you have to rely on intuition. You have to. You look at successful CEOs, they have 2 years of data, but ultimately they have to follow their heart, that instinct, that urge, that impulse, that intuition. So the blind spot here is we second guess ourselves. We have this thought, this idea, this impulse. Oh yeah, whatever, that was just me. Start following your intuition. The more you follow your intuition, the more it's going to speak to you as you go through this. In fact, they had college students. They were watching a 10-second clip of a professor during their class, the beginning, middle, and end, 10 seconds. And they evaluated the professor. So they were evaluating the professor's warmth, energy, and confidence. And the study found that the students that saw the 10-second video had the same evaluations as the people that were in the class the whole semester. So instinct, intuition, Top leaders score higher than lower level managers on intuition. We don't have time to constantly overanalyze every situation. And intuition's bigger than we realize. It feeds our expertise, our creativity, our love, and even our spirituality. Those are some things to think about with intuition. So follow your heart is what I'm saying. Do the research, talk to other people, but ultimately you have to follow your heart. So we can call it a hunch, a gut reaction, a feeling. So learn to read other people, follow that instinct. It does take faith and practice, but learn to focus and concentrate. Take time to be alone with your ideas. Take time to be alone with your thoughts. Go for a walk and just think about it, and you'll be surprised. And again, turn off your cell phone, the audio, the video. Be alone with your thoughts. You'll be surprised how often you get that instinct, that intuition urge when you take time to listen and to be alone with your thoughts. You have to, at some point, follow your heart. So what do you want to do? Be alone with your thoughts. That's the biggest one. It'll speak to you. What's your attitude about this too? That, no, this works. There's something about this. I mean, logically, you can't really explain it, but it works. Learn to listen. Learn to apply what that voice is telling you. Practice, and soon it'll become quicker, easier, and faster as you go through this. I mean, Tom talks about Walt Disney the other time. He talked about someone that followed that instinct, that intuition. People thought he was crazy, but he knew. He knew it would work out. He knew it would happen. So the takeaway, learn to listen to your thoughts, follow your instinct, solve your challenges. It'll make a big difference. That is the key. That is what you are looking for. So that instinct, that intuition, that impulse, because if you're listening to, you want to listen to other people's opinions to a point, but at one point you have to listen to your heart, that instinct. That's what great entrepreneurs do. That's part of finding the right side hustle. And just to finish up with a story on how important this is, this farmer had a young son. They didn't have a lot of money, broke. They worked hard. They were hard workers, and they slowly earned money, and they finally, their dream, they bought a donkey, which was going to make everything easier. I mean, this donkey was part of the family. They bred it, they fed it well, and it really helped around the farm. And then one Saturday, they decided to go to town to get some supplies, use the donkey, kind of show off the donkey. They were excited and got it ready to roll. And they were getting ready to go to town. The father put the son on the donkey. They started going to town. And first neighbor says, "Oh, what a bad son, making their father walk. What kind of son would do that?" And they heard this, and so they switched. Father got on, and the next neighbor says, "What a bad father, making their son walk. What type of father would do that?" And so they both got on. And the next neighbor says, "Hello, animal cruelty. Why don't you, all right, your donkey can't handle that much weight." And then so they both walked next to it, not knowing what to do. And the next neighbor says, "Hello, you got a donkey. Why don't one of you ride it?" Perplexed, they cut down a small tree and they tied it up upside down, tried to carry the donkey into town, which got them mocked and ridiculed, and that didn't work out. So you need to get opinions and advice, listen to people, but ultimately you can't listen to every neighbor because you'll never achieve your goals, never make it happen. Follow that instinct, that intuition, be more creative, do this homework. This is a game changer. This is a life changer for your life, for your income, for your posterity. And then once you become more and more successful, giving back, helping out, becoming more charitable, that's what it's all about. In fact, you start that now, becoming more charitable, giving back, helping out. The more successful you get, the more and more you can give away. So thanks from the successandmoneyfoundation.org. Go there, do your homework, make sure you have this PDF. It'll make a big difference. That is lesson 4. Do the homework, make it happen, and go out and make the world a better place.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you so much for jumping in with us in our class today. We're going to say goodbye to our friends from around the world, and we're going to come back and we're going to be talking about our next section on how to get that business really cranking to the next step. There are 3 strategies that we need to use, and then another 25 ways to make more money. So we'll be right back in just a second. Thanks for watching. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Painter again. Thank you so much for joining with us and being part of our world. We're going to talk about the 3 strategies to grow your business. There's only really 3 major things that we can do, 3 strategies that we can do. Now, everything else is a subset of those 3 things. And if you want to grow your business, we need to constantly looking at these 3 things every day. You need to be saying, how can I do this? How can I do this? Or how can I do this? And we really want to chunk them into these 3 major things, because all of you need to have a small business. All of you need to learn how to make more money. Now, I don't really care if you have a job and you're working for someone else. and your goal is to make more money for the operation, remember, to make more money, you need to solve bigger problems. You need to add more value, and you need to study successful people and see how they did it. Now, when you study successful people, then it gives you ideas of what you can do. One example is Walt Disney. Walt Disney created Disneyland, but you have to connect the dots going backwards. Walt Disney came up with the idea for Disneyland from Tivoli Gardens in Denmark. Okay, so here's a wonderful amusement park that's was around for many, many years before Disneyland ever was created. Walt had started creating these wonderful stories, these cartoons, and he was in the movie business. And he got a chance to travel, and they stopped at Tivoli Gardens, which is in Copenhagen. And it's this beautiful, beautiful amusement park, and it was clean. The people were happy. They served great food. I mean, it was a great family atmosphere. And Walt said, you know what? I love what they're doing, because in America, the model was Coney Island. And Coney Island was a big carnival, games of chance. Those games were rigged so that you would lose. They looked like you could win, but in reality, there was something wrong with it that made it so that you had a really hard time winning, kind of a bait and switch. It was dirty. And, he didn't want anything like that, but he saw Tivoli Gardens and said, that is a very different thing. Now I want to take what they're doing, which is clean, family centered, and I want to take my content, which is the content of the stories that he was telling and the movies and things like that. And I want to make something similar to that, but using my content. So that's how we learn from other people. Now, as we talk about the three major strategies, there's three major strategies to grow your business. And every day you should be getting up and you're saying, well, how do I really increase our business? Well, there's three things. Number one is to get more customers. Let me start again. So there's three strategies. Here's the three strategies. Number one is more customers. That's the most expensive thing you can do, is to find more customers. Number two is to get them to buy more. Every time they buy something, how do you get them to buy more? And number three is to buy more often. Those are the three major things that everything works on. How do I get more customers? And when they do buy, how do I get them to increase the amount of what they're buying? And number three is, how do I get them to buy more often? So I'm going to give you an example. We're just going to make this very simple so you can see how dramatic this can be. But let's say that you have, and I'm just going to use a small number to make it very easy, but you got 100 customers. And when they buy, let's say that they buy, 50, and this could be 50 pesos, dollars, yuan, whatever it is, and they buy once a year. Well, if you take 100 times 50, that's going to be a 5. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3 zeros. That's $5,000 or yuan or whatever it is in revenue. So what most people do is they go, I'm going to go out and figure out how to get 200 customers, but customers are usually expensive to find. But if I did get 200 and they still only bought 50 one time, then you've doubled your income. You've gone up to 10,000 because you have more customers. But the most expensive thing that you can do is to acquire a new customer, especially if you have to do media and marketing. Now, the third one to that is, let's go back to that same 100, but this time, instead of buying at 50, we're going to get them to buy at 100, meaning there's more products and services that are appropriate for what we're doing. And we're going to get them to buy twice a year. Okay, so if you take the numbers right there, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. There's the zeros right there times the 2. So look how that has just dramatically increased our revenue. That same number of clients, but they bought more. Every time they bought more. And we got them to buy twice a year versus one time a year. Now your total revenue, your gross revenue has gone from 5,000 to 20,000. So the key to creating a business is to nail it and then scale it. Get your systems down so that you can add more and more people to it without changing your system. The McDonald's system on their hamburgers, the French fries never burn because they've created a system to force it to be right. And once they got that prototype done, which the McDonald's brothers did in California, then they were able to duplicate it again. So if we were able to also get 200 customers now, and we got them to buy at 100, and we got them to buy 5 times a year. Well, let's see, 2 times 1, that's a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. That's that 20,000 times that 5 right there. Just look at how our gross revenue went up by doing those 3 things. So the point on this is that as you're doing your businesses, I want you to be thinking every day of these 3 strategies. How can I get more customers? But that's not the most important part. The most important part is how can I sell them more things that they need? How can I add more value? How can I create other products that are appropriate? And then how do I get them to buy more often? They need to buy more than once a year, twice a year, once a week, twice a week, whatever it is. That's how you take your revenue from, in this example, from 5,000 to 100,000 by pulling on those 3 levers. So every day you're going to think of your business, and I don't care if you're working for somebody or if you've got your own businesses, your job is to be valuable to your employer or to your business. Because when tough times come, the employer's going to stick with the people who stuck with them. They're going to stick with the people that add more value. Your job is to make it more valuable. Your job is to help that business become successful. And then you will get rewarded. Now, if you don't get rewarded, then go find somebody that will reward you or go do it yourself. We have wonderful classes that go all through business. There's a whole section that Michael Gerber is on, that Jay Abraham's on. These are people that I've worked with that have wonderful materials that I learned from. And this is something that can help you as well. So get those small businesses going. Let's get that top line revenue up. And we're going to be right back. We're going to talk about the 25 ways that you can make more money at your businesses. These are the 25 ACE, the Academy for Creative Enterprises, tips on how, whatever you got your business, you can make more money with it. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back, and we're going to go to our next section on the 25 ways to make more money with your business. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Painter again, and we're going to be talking about the 25 ways to make more money in your business. You know, you need to figure out how to get your top line revenue up. You need to figure out how to make more money in your businesses. You need to make more money at your job. You need to make those more effective. One of the most important things to do is figure out how to make whatever you're doing more effective and more profitable. And from there, you'll make more money. That just changes the world. One of the biggest problems everybody has is not making enough money. They've got to figure out how to make more money with what it is that they're doing. Now, with that being said, we're going to jump over here to our slides, and we're going to kind of take you through our presentation here of the 25 ways to do this. And so here they come right here. Here's the 25 ways to make this all work. Number 1 is you need to work on your business, not in your business. This is really crucial for most people, is because they work for somebody and they just don't feel like they're making the kind of money they want, or they want to be the boss or whatever. And so instead of working 8 hours for someone else, they're going to go work 14 hours for themselves. Now, that's okay, but the one thing you got to do is you got to work on the business, which means you need to be able to step away and have the business run without you. Now, that means that you have to train others how to do it. You need to create organizational charts. You need to be able to create flow charts. You need to be able to train somebody to make it work. Well, the biggest example, that's McDonald's. McDonald's has teenagers, it has young people that are coming in there and working through there, and they have a system that's simple enough that anyone can pick it up quite quickly. Now, they do a lot of training. They've got Hamburger University that they send their managers to, and those managers in turn train their employees how to work the business and how to make that work. Okay, so that's kind of important on how we're doing with that. Now, these are all part of the Academy for Creative Enterprises. I highly recommend you check them out. Just go to the-academy.com, or it might even be .org, and then look up the 25 Rules of Thumb. I really love what they do. This is Stephen Gibson and his wife, Betty. They created this many years ago to help people get their businesses up and running. And they've got 735 chapters all over the world. And what I love about it is that they're a little bit more face-to-face, toe-to-toe. So we have different methods of learning, and our learning is more digital. And then from there, our goal is to have you work with these wonderful organizations to help you get to that next level. Now, the 25 ways, number one is to start small, but think big. And the key to this is that as you're getting your business up and going and you start small, it's okay to do small, because once you get it down, once you get it once you've got it nailed of how to do it, and it's a simple way to be able to do it, then you pour gas on it. You can make it go much bigger. The French fries never burn in McDonald's because there's a system that doesn't allow that. You have to create that system that other people can help you run, and then be able to add gas to it to be able to make it go and to multiply. So start small, think big. Number two is you need to sell what people will buy. Now, all of us have biases of what we think they're going to buy, but people vote with their wallet. And the way that you know what's selling is to keep track of it. So many people stick their head in the sand. They don't know for sure what they sold. It's crucial that you find out what they sell. Here's what I know about marketing and sales is that I don't know. I don't know what they want, but I do know how to test, and I do know how to get it up and started, and then have people buy it. And the things that they're buying more of, then be able to deliver more of that. I also look at other models. How are these other people doing what they do? And then I learn from their systems, and then I bring my product into our program, learning from how they did what they did. Focus, focus, focus. You've got to get started. As you get started, we want you to focus on the businesses and really pay attention to it so that you know what's going on and how to make it work. And then we're going to add gas to it. Suggestive selling. Have you ever gone through the drive-through and you ordered a hamburger and they say, would you like fries with that? Well, yeah, I probably would. Would you like to upgrade that to a bigger size fries? Yeah, I would like that. Because 1 out of 3 people are going to take that. You go through the grocery store line and they say, would you like to donate your change to this wonderful program? Well, 1 out of 3 people might say yes. 1 out of 5 people might say yes. It doesn't, what matters is that you ask. Because if you didn't ask, it's 0 out of 5. But if you do ask, it might be 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5. This is called an upgrade. And this is highly, we're going to suggest that you do that. Keep your personal money and your business money separate. So I learned this when I first got married to my wife. My father-in-law says, the way that we keep harmony in our house is that we have a checking account. And in that checking account, my wife also has her own checking account, and we agree on a monthly basis. Here's the income that's coming in. We know how much money we're making as a family. And then here's the things that my wife is typically responsible for, and here's the things that I'm typically responsible for. Now, in many families, the husband usually is better at fixing up the cars, making them sure they run, changing the oil, putting gas in them, whatever it is. And so those are things that's his responsibility. In many families, whatever spouse it is might be responsible to take care of the kids for clothing or food or whatever. And the key is that you decide what that is, and then you give that individual their money and let them go do what they need to do with that money. Now, the reason we like that so much is because it just does not create conflict. Divorces happen not because of the lack of money, but because they're not on the same page and they're fighting about it. When in reality, if you get on the same page, you can play the game, and games are fun. Money's a game and games are fun. Now, we also do this with our businesses. Now, the reason we have a separate checking account for every different business we have is because we want to be able to see what's profitable and what's not profitable. And sometimes it's much better if I can have a separate entity for each of those. Also, it's for protection. If one entity gets in trouble, if one entity gets into lawsuit, then it doesn't affect the rest of the other entities. That's why we keep them separate. Number 6, pay yourself a livable wage. You've got to figure out how to make more money in your business so that your business can afford to be able to do that. But step number 4 in the 5 steps is you make more money, you need to get more of that money put away so that you can make it grow. So the real key is you've got to make more money. Keep good records. You've got to keep good records because as you do these things, the records will tell you the answer. I want to be able to make logical decisions. I don't want to make emotional decisions. I want to know that 1 + 1 = 2. And if I have good records, I can know that. If I don't know what's going on, I'm throwing darts and I have no idea what's going to work. Turn your inventory often. This is really kind of crucial because as people talk about your inventory, sometimes people have all kinds of warehouses of stuff that doesn't sell. Reduce the number of items that you have to offer. Find out the hottest items that are for sale. Get rid of the ones that are not. Making more money with your client is finding out what they need and then getting that to them and turning that inventory very quickly instead of having just stuff laying around because that's a big expense. Number 9, don't eat your inventory. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. We need to be able to sell that product. 10, continually look for improvement. Every day as you look, you need to stand back and watch. You need to stand back and watch and then coach. If you have employees or you have a system, you need to be able to train and teach by showing by example, but you need to step back. You need to have them watch what they're doing and then give them a little bit of some ideas on how they can make that better. And also get out of their way. Get good people together, get the best people together, tell them what the goal is, and then watch how creative they can be to come up with the solutions. Buy low, sell high. This is kind of crucial as you look at the products that you're selling. What can you buy and can you get a better price on that product? It goes back to your inventory. Can we get product at a cheaper price? Well, usually if we buy more of it, but don't buy something that's not selling. It's okay to pay a higher price for your product until you find out what's really selling. Then we can buy more of it and turn it because now we have a little bit more margin. We've got a bigger profit margin, and that's really crucial. The supply and demand curve. As you look at the supply and demand, that is kind of crucial. Right now, as you look at homes in many places around the world, there's more demand. There's more people trying to buy than there is supply. As a result, the price has gone up and the profits have gone up as well. Number 12, inspect more and assume less. This is really kind of crucial. We want you to be able to inspect what's going on, understand what's going on. Don't just assume that it's happening. You need to have reports to be able to verify if it actually happened or not. This is kind of interesting. Be nice later. You need to get aggressive. You need to get aggressive and make it happen. Offer a good product, offer service, offer something that adds more value than somebody else, and get aggressive in making it happen. Be nice later, always be nice, but don't get taken advantage of. Number 14, you got to work on your business and you've got to get this business off the ground. I remember we joke we only worked half days from 7 in the morning till 7 at night. To get your business off the ground, you're going to have to spend the time. You're going to have to spend the time. Now, you need to figure out how to get your family and your kids around you that they can spend some time with you. It might be in the business, but one of the regrets people have is they spent all their time in the business and they never had any time for family. So you need some balance there. But the way you pick up more time is to get up earlier in the morning and get more stuff done in those prime hours in the morning. They say that an ounce of morning is worth a pound of afternoon. So get up earlier, and get those things going first thing in the day. That will add a couple of hours to your day, or work later at night after the family's gone to bed, so that you can pick up that extra couple of hours that will get you ahead of your competition. Your goal is to break this down to figure out how to be profitable on a daily basis. How much revenue do I need to bring in? What are my costs for my goods? How much profit can I make? And the goal is to work until you get that profit made on a daily basis. As I've traveled all over the world, they take lots of taxis. And one of the things I ask the people is, how much money do you need to make a day? How much time do you take? And he says, well, my goal is to make X number of dollars. I need to make at least $100 a day or $200 a day. And so I'm going to work until I get that done. Number 16, value your customer. Your customer is not always right, but your customer is always your customer. So your job is to figure out how to add value to your customer, and hopefully you can add value without extra cost. Do something different. Go the extra mile. Do something a little better for them. Remember their names. Remember birthdays. Send them out when you see a good article or a post. Copy it and send it to them. There's a thing that's called thank and ask. Thank and ask. Thank and ask. So as you're seeing things that might be appropriate, hey, that's a great little article. I think George would like that, and just copy, paste, and send it to him. It's amazing how something that you can do in 30 seconds could make a big difference in someone else's life. So value your customer. Your customer is not always right, but your customer is always your customer. 17, hire slow and fire fast. You need to get the systems down. You need to create a system so as you get those people, get them in and working. And if it's not working, you always put people on probation and say, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna bring you in here for the first 30 days, just to see if that's a good fit. If it's a good fit, great. If not, that's okay too. And if it's not a good fit, hey, I know somebody that I think might be a better fit for you. 18, work on your business, not just in your business. This goes back to one of the earlier ones. You need to work on your business. Work on your business, not just in it. Don't be the one that just turns the wrenches, that flips the burgers. You got to create systems, and then you got to be able to multiply those systems. 19, buy on credit, sell for cash. One of the things that people need is you need to be able to have good credit. Now, I don't believe in getting into debt for debt's sake. I only get into debt if I can make more money off that debt. Meaning, I own lots of real estate. That real estate, we get loans on that real estate. But the renters are paying more money than the rent than the payments are. And essentially, the people that are renting off me paid off all my real estate. And that's how the foundation was created, because we had so many millions of, tens of millions of dollars worth of real estate, and the renters paid that off. So we bought that on credit. We bought that with debt. Now, don't be buying on credit if you got the cash. If you have the cash, then use that cash to buy, use that cash to sell. But if you need to increase your credit limit so that you can take advantage and get better pricing, but don't run up stuff on your credit card, because that's silly. You're not going to get investments that are going to pay you 21% like clockwork. First thing to do is don't pay that money out. 20, use multiple suppliers to get the best prices. This is really crucial, especially when things like COVID hit and the supply chain got really disrupted. So don't have all your eggs in one basket. Have multipliers that you can work with, and make sure that you get the best prices. And sometimes the best prices is depending on what they actually have available. Some of them have more product available than other. And as a result, you can get a better price there. Purchase in bulk, again, that's the key, but make sure you're purchasing things that make sense, the products that are actually moving. And then once you figure that out, once you have nailed it, this is what's happened. I can predict. The one thing in business that if I could only have one thing, it would be the ability to predict the future. Now, how do you learn how to predict the future? You learn how to predict the future by studying the past, by seeing what's happened in the past and how it worked. So we want to purchase in bulk, but only on things that we know it's going to move. 22, have written agreements. You can do that with just a yellow pad. Make sure you write things down. Make sure you send out texts or emails that you're both on the same page. You might have a discussion with someone and then follow it up with a text. So, I made a deal with you. I'm going to sell you this many units for this price, whatever it is, or I'm going to do this job. Then you get that in writing, because it's amazing how our brains can't remember or that we're assuming things. So get it in writing. Very crucial. Doesn't have to be a big contract. It just has to be something where you both agree on it. Increase your sales. Number 23, increase your sales, decrease your costs. That's your margin. That's the difference between your profit and loss. Is we got to do more sales, but we've got to decrease those costs and increase the margin, the profit margin that we have. Daily and weekly business goals. Every day you should be saying, my goal is to sell X today. My goal is to do this today. And I'm going to work until I do that. My son is out actually selling alarm systems, and he's out in the Washington, D.C. area. And he's got a goal of how much he wants to do every day. He knows how many steps he needs to take, how many doors he needs to knock. And if he does those, then that helps to determine, he just knows that if I do this many things for the week, this is what I'm going to get done. And he breaks that into a weekly goal and into a daily goal. And then number 25 is make your business different from others. Learn from others of how they do what they do. How do these other groups do what they do? And then as you learn from them, then you can change your business a little bit. The biggest thing that makes you different is adding more value. As I've traveled all over the world, it's amazing. There's all these people selling the same thing. They're all selling the same thing. And you need to add value. You need to have a different angle. You need to have a better, buy two, get one free, or buy three and get one free, or some kind of angle so you can increase the gross revenue and get your profit margin up. So make it a little bit different. Don't be exactly like everybody else. But the biggest thing is maybe make it different in the way you market it, the way you treat people, the way you keep track of your customers, the way you get business afterwards, things like that. So this has been the 25 ways to make more money. Thank you so much for watching and being part of our world. Go make a difference, make it happen. And remember that every life is precious. We're going to say goodbye to our friends from around the world. Make sure you go to successofmoneyfoundation.org and get a free membership. We're a foundation, we're a charity. Our goal is to make a difference in your life. And the only way we can do that is with education and action, execution. Do things, even if it's just okay, and then learn from it. You're not going to figure it out until you jump in and start figuring it out. And remember, business is a game and games are fun. Money's a game and games are fun. Okay, life is a game and games are fun. So let's go have some fun. So we're going to say goodbye for our friends around the world. We are going to be right back here, and we're going to give away a bunch of money. We've given away 30,000 financial rewards to students all over the world. And we're going, because people were here live in our Zoom class today. And again, once you sign up, you'll be able to get those links to come into our live Zoom class. We're giving out money for people just to be here today. We're giving cash and stock just for being here today. And again, the more that you share the wealth with other people, the more money you can make into your own stock accounts. We're giving away our Warren Buffett stock. And now why are we doing that? Well, because that's how you get started. Now, I could go spend all this money on Facebook. I could give Zuckerberg the money. I could spend it on there and get this material out. But you know what? I'd rather give it to you. I'd rather give it to you than give it to them. And so that's why we put $3 million US into the foundation, and we're giving it away. We're giving it away. And all we ask is that you go to class, and more importantly, you share with others, because that's how it gets from person to person. So thanks for watching. If you're on our live class, stay tuned. We're going to give you some links, and we're going to send out some money today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make a difference, make it happen. Remember that every life is precious.